Well, hello and welcome to draft day number 2, friends. Mark Holmes here, and as always, I want to say thank you all for watching, commenting, subscribing, and being part of the Joe Boo Sports Report. Without you guys, as well as you ladies, you know that this literally does not work. Hope everybody's having a great draft day, and I hope that you are happy with the draft pick that we had. Doesn't matter if you are or not, it's not going back. You can't change it up. That's who we got. Tyler Booker. And I wish I was at the Red Brick House, because that's where Tracy has all of their shirt making equipment, and I have the perfect name for Tyler, and Tyler. Oh, it's going to be a good shirt. It's going to be a great shirt. So we'll have more on that. We'll be back down there in probably Monday or Tuesday, but probably Tuesday, and she's going to be working on that shirt for me, and I can't wait to get that one. So a little update here. I have not seen this, but shout out to 105.3 The Fan. Of course, they're the experts here. I'm just lucky to be having a few people that watch the channel and can be able to use some of their content here. But they've had Stephen Jones, our executive of, co-owner of the Dallas Cowboys, and he's going to talk about what they did about the trade back options for day 2 and 3 and the prospects and so on. I have no idea what this is going to be like, but let's listen to it and see what we got.
Jones ready to roll with us right now on 105.3 The Fan. Stephen, good morning, sir.
Good morning, guys. How you doing?
We're doing good, but I'll be doing even better if you tell me that in the next 2 years, you guys will have the guts to draft 2 more offensive linemen named Tyler and really fill out this entire line.
That would probably be a reach and a stretch, but it's amazing how the great wall of Tylers come together.
I love it. I love it that you're already in on that. I was curious. I don't know what you can tell us on this. Is there was rumblings that late in y'all's pick window, Houston tried trading up. Can you tell us anything about that and if that is accurate?
Yeah, we had options and certainly looked at it, but just felt like for what they were offering to move up into that spot, we preferred doing the safe thing and taking a player that we had high on our board and taking a player that we think is going to be a special guy here for the next 10, 12 years. We've obviously, he's going to be Tyler Booker, but we've had some great guards around here and for 10 and 12 years at a time, and certainly see him and Tyler Smith continuing in that path.
If a team theoretically was going to drop from like 12 to 25, would you want a second and a fourth? Is that kind of what the price looks like?
I mean, I think you need at least a second and a fourth, and probably more like a second and a third, a late third. Yeah.
I like that kind of negotiation, Stephen.
Yeah.
When we
can negotiate it. We can negotiate it right here.
Okay, so
Unfortunately, that one's in the past.
Okay.
Negotiating a different one here tonight.
Well, and speaking of that, the word is, and I would love your thoughts on this, that you guys have more than
picks.
12 names in mind for the second round, and y'all have the 12th pick. Could you find yourself in another scenario? I know it depends on how the board goes, where you are willing to trade back again or trade back.
Yeah, we certainly always consider it, and
We're always open for business.
We have 10 picks, which is certainly a nice number to have, and we're in a mode now where we are into taking those picks and getting depth, and we feel like we've really done our homework on this draft and feel like we can get players throughout this draft. So we're fired up about that, and if the right deal were there, and we still had a handful of players left on the board that we liked, we'd certainly consider it. But at the same time, if we are narrowing it down and think that the right guy's there, we're certainly not afraid to take the pick either.
we're starting to see, or we're getting our opportunities, Stephen, to see the passion, the intensity of Tyler Booker. Is that, or what we're seeing right now, is that what you guys saw when y'all had the interviews with him, when y'all met him, that this dude has this type of passion for the game?
Absolutely. He's got those type of intangibles. That's why, and where we had him. He brings a lot more, although that's a front and center of being a great football player in the SEC, and certainly playing at a dominant type level. But his football character, his leadership, what he'll bring to that room, is something that's hard to measure. And certainly you're seeing it with him. It's real. It's not something that he's putting on a show out there. He plays that way. He feels that way. He leads that way. And that's why we felt like he was the right guy for us. And certainly when you're in the NFC East where you're going against some great tackles, you've got to really make sure that you match up.
More than anything else, that's the reason.
Games every year where they got dominant type tackles, and for them not to be able to move them around now to avoid Tyler Smith or that type of thing's a big deal for us. So they'll have to pick their poison, as we said, between one of the two Tylers in terms of the interior line, and that's what we're up against every year, and we really wanted to solidify that, and think we have now with Tyler Booker.
Yeah, I don't want this to sound as a negative, but it did we heard leadership a lot about him. Was there question of the leadership that was already there with your offensive line, and you were like, we need to kind of bolster that some more?
Well, anytime you lose two Hall of Fame players, and Tyron Smith and Zach Martin, you're going to feel it. I mean, you're going to fill a void. We're talking about two guys that are going to be wearing gold jackets. And certainly it was their room, and everybody looked up to him. And I think Tyler Smith is certainly stepping up, and certainly see here with his play style that goes into his leadership and football character. I certainly see Tyler Booker fitting into that role as well, early and often, and not to mention the fact we've got we got three other great young guys in Terrence Steele and BB and Tyler Guyton. So the room's really coming together, and we feel like in the NFC you should need that.
Is Terrence Steele, I know you just said it, is he still viewed as a younger player even though he's got a lot of experience on this offensive line?
Yeah, I mean, I think in football years he's not 30 yet, and it's just a young offensive line that I think the very best is yet to come. And as I said, I mean, it's a matchup thing in the East. When you got 6 of your 17 games, you know who they are every year regardless.
How many first-round grades did y'all have this year? I know that came up on Tuesday, and y'all were like, hey, we're still finalizing it. Do you know the number that y'all had going into the draft last night?
We ended up with 13.
Are there any more first-round grades available on your board?
There actually are. It just shows you how the league can see things differently, and but we're
keeping it close to the vest.
Grades, left on our board.
Now, you talked about trading down, and I get it. Talent acquisition can go any number of ways, but if you've got the 12th pick, there's still first-round grades on your board. Would there be a scenario in which you were like, hey, let's make a move up and make sure we get one of those first-round grades?
It's so costly to move up, and we really like.
And we don't like
the way we
cost.
put our board together. As I said, we like players throughout this draft. Depending on where you're picking, and we just to move up. In this part of the draft, it's really expensive, and we really like our draft capital. But if there was something that was just obvious, we'd never rule it out. But right now, my thoughts would be we either pick a player because we think there's going to be a damn good one there, or maybe pick up an extra pick and move down a little bit.
Yeah, the damn good one is something I'm all after, too.
Oh, yeah.
And that being said, Kevin and I, we were looking at it yesterday, and, it seems like more running backs fell than we expected. More quarterbacks fell into the next rounds than we expected. Mm-hmm. And if there's a glut there in round 2, do you say, no, we can go in round 3 for a potential running back, or is there a specific guy that you're like, no, that's the one we want?
Well, that's what you always consider. Certainly we have grades throughout the draft in terms of the running back position, and we do think the running back position is deep in terms of what's available out there, and you can get good backs throughout this draft. So that's something we consider, but obviously you have first, second, third, fourth, right on down the line grades on all of them. And the reason you have first and second round grades on some of them and fourth on the others is you obviously feel a lot better about the ones with the higher grades.
Of
Do
course.
you feel like the team is in a
Thank you,
position
Captain
where they
Obvious.
need to draft a running back?
Yes.
Oh, I like what we did in free agency. That's one of the things we like to accomplish in free agency is, get some guys in and feel like we did that. And so, we don't really feel like we have to pick a position anywhere in terms of,
I'm choking
our
on that.
depth and what goes there. That's how you make mistakes when you just say, hey, we've got a draft for need here. I think you make mistakes that way. Certainly, don't get me wrong, it comes into everybody's pick when you're looking at players up there. But we don't feel the need to have to reach and take a player, quite a bit down the line just because we need a position.
I promise I was listening to your answer. I heard your answer. I did just want to follow up. Same thing goes for wide receiver then, where it feels like maybe there is more of a pressing need.
Yeah, I mean, obviously, we think we've got some really good receivers on this team. I think, once you get past the spot where you're not getting a true number two, then, I think we've got a handful of receivers that fit the, 3, 4, 5, 6 position receiver role on our team. And I feel like there's great competition there. And we do feel like we've got a couple of receivers, that could ultimately, develop into that 2 spot. But, we do feel like we've got great depth there. After it gets to a certain point, we do feel like, we have a lot of guys that are, fit that 3 position down role. And feel good about the group of receivers, feel good about the room. Obviously, we said coming into the draft, if the right guy opposite of CD that could step in and be that number 2 was there, we'd certainly look at it.
I always love the functionality of the business part of it, the work that goes into it. Do you come in this morning and you're like, okay, now let's reset and everything, or did you guys walk away last night going, we have some really good ideas of what we're going to do tomorrow?
Well, your board gives you your good ideas, and we sat there and looked at it, and they're sitting right there for you to look at.
Yeah.
And we're looking at the top 15 guys left on our board, and those are our best ideas we got. I can assure you, we'll do a little looking at that and just making sure we got them right. There's nothing we're missing, and continue to respect all the work that's gone into the board that we've put up.
Kevin, that sounds like what you always say about being prepared for a test. The test is here, and now we're good to go. The line that we heard from Tyler Booker was he loves to see the life leave their eyes as they're losing the battles against him. Is that going to become a pre-draft question from now on? How much do you like to see the opponent's life leave their eyes?
Yes, I don't think I've ever seen one that good, and certainly that's the way he plays. You flip on the tape and watch him go. He's all day, and it's every play, and he certainly plays the game that way. He certainly prepares himself that way. He certainly leads that way. And I think I did get a quick peek at a podcast with Micah on it, and I think Micah about jumped out of his chair when he was saying that. He said, I'm totally in now. This is my guy. So you got to love it. And, of course, I know Micah's been against some great ones in this league and guys who are all day and give him fits. But I think he loved that as much as anybody.
Well, and that's something I know we get to see a version of Micah, and you guys get to see a different version of Micah too. Does he have similarities to that kind of feeling about football and about the game?
Oh, absolutely. He's I promise you, when Micah lines up the first play and by the fourth quarter, they're starting to say, when is this guy going to quit? Because he keeps coming. And I think Micah's at his best in the third and fourth quarter. And, when he continues to come at them. And, that's what you're looking for in these guys, just relentless competitiveness. And that's ultimately, you get that type of guy. You get 53 of those guys. You get 22 starters like that. You're going to certainly get your team to where it needs to be.
Talk with Stephen Jones right here on The Fan. On Tuesday in the pre-draft presser, Jerry said we're looking at two things that could happen before or after the draft, two pretty substantive trades. Been working on that. Are those two things in play? Did any of those go off the board based on what happened in round one yesterday?
No, I think those are things that could still be there after the draft. Sometimes those things have a way of sticking around. Sometimes they don't. But, we're always looking at ways to acquire players. Certainly trades are one of them. Certainly this draft is a huge player acquisition.
Here we go, player acquisition.
And then you got the post-free agency, and you got trades and things of that nature that we'll continue to look at to improve our football team.
And I know in the pre-draft presser, too, that Jerry was discussing, hey, I want Brian Schottenheimer to be right there involved in it all. I want him hollering if he has to. Was there any hollering necessary? Was there any standing up on the table and arguing necessary yesterday, and you feel like there might be today?
No, I think there was some hollering. It was we were fired up, but I don't think there was any question who our guy was when it came to that 12th pick. We were all fired up that he was there. Certainly, we give ourselves every opportunity to make sure that make sure there wasn't a trade there that was too good to be true. But it was a complete consensus on who our players should be yesterday.
Is it safe to assume then when pick number 12 came up that Tyler Booker was your best player available at that point?
At that point, he was definitely our best player on the board.
All right, excellent. Thank you very much for the insight.
Okay.
We're looking forward.
All right, we're looking forward to tonight. So there you have it. The trades are still possibly there after the draft. So we'll have to wait and see what we got. Hope you guys tune in tonight, literally in less than 3 hours. We'll probably start a little bit before 7, and I hope to see you there. All right, good people. Peace out.